Hi everybody, it's Nunu, your friendly teacher guide, and my purpose in this video is to provide an overview of this essay assignment. Its title in Spanish is Le Tengo que Decir Algo, which means in English, I have to tell you something. This is a 2023 short story by LACCD student Amy Mejia. Amy was in an English 102 class I taught at West in spring of 23, and one of the assignments in that class was to write a short story, because what better way to learn about fiction than to write a story, right? So I read her story, I loved it, I asked her for permission to use her story in 101, and to my great delight, she said yes. All right, so let me scroll down and show you the directions for Amy's essay assignment, and you can see they're very detailed, they're very helpful. I'm not going to read these directions to you, I'm just going to point out key pieces of information that you need to keep in mind, and you're going to read the essay directions very carefully from beginning to end to yourself. All right, what's the first piece of information? It's Amy's story. I'm clicking on it here and it's popping up. And yes, this is Amy here. This is a biography about her. This is her story. It is written predominantly in English. However, it does have Spanish in the story. So translations of the Spanish is right down here. What I recommend if you are not fluent in Spanish, as I definitely am not, but wish I were, is that you print out this story, and over the Spanish that you may not understand, you write the translations from down here over it, so that we can understand the text very easily. The Spanish adds a beautiful ambience to this story, and I think you'll agree once you read it, and you'll enjoy reading the story. All right, back to the essay. What else did I need to point out to you? In the directions, our class rule, use artificial intelligence, AI, appropriately. So yes, use Grammarly.com, a basic spelling, grammar, punctuation checker to help you to identify and correct easily avoidable errors. But please do not use AI such as Grammarly Go, Quillbot, or ChatGPT, which will write or revise your text for you. If you use this kind of AI, then I cannot do my job as your teacher guide, which is to help you to build your writing skills. All right, what else do I have to show you? The essay is due by 11:59 p.m. on Saturday. The directions are here. They're very detailed. They're very carefully printed for you here. And read them from beginning to end very, very carefully. Note that there is a 750 word count for this essay, 3 pages. Please observe the word count, because we have a word count in English 6,000 that we must meet. All right, there are requirements for the essay right here. Read them very carefully from beginning to end. And if you need help with the essay, you have an annotated outline here, which comes with a rhetorical focus, which is built on the Greek philosopher Aristotle's rhetoric, on his famous rhetorical appeals, logos, ethos, and pathos, or if you prefer, logos, ethos, and pathos. I say logos, ethos, and pathos because I don't speak Greek, and it's easier for me to speak, but either pronunciation is correct. Tomato, tomato, right? We still know what you mean. All right, so read these very carefully. Note that the annotated outline is a model for you, so I'm asking you please not to use paragraphs that are written in the annotated outline verbatim. Use them as models of good writing. All right, let's go back to the essay assignment. What else did I need to point out to you? I'm going to scroll all the way to the end of the screen here, to the pair evaluations, which are due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Read these directions very carefully, please. The pair evaluations have a very specific format, 9 questions that you need to answer. I'm going to click on this link so I can show you the 9 questions right here. So read these directions really, really carefully. The pair evaluations are a very important part of this class. They will teach you a lot about writing. So make sure you follow the directions very carefully. Okay, back to our essay assignment. What else did I want to point out to you? Couple more things, 2 things. So I'm scrolling down to the peer evaluations, and I wanted to point out that you can earn 10 points if you respond to my evaluation of your essay, which will be in grades. So look for the Tengo que Decir Algo. I have to tell you something essay assignment. Click on it in grades and read my notes to you and respond to them in grades in the comments box, and you'll earn an extra 10 points on top of your essay grade if you provide a detailed response to my notes. Okay, one more thing to point out. Please do not evaluate any essays that already have 2 peer evaluations in place. Scroll down in the assignment and find somebody whose essay has not been evaluated, and please evaluate that person's essay. We need to respond to every peer evaluation, and we don't want the first few essays in the discussion to have 30 or 40 or a billion peer evaluations to respond to. So go down in the assignment and find somebody with no evaluations. That's the best scenario, and perform a peer evaluation on that person's essay. Okay, any questions or concerns? I'm over here in inbox, or you can come over here to home. You can click on this office hours link and learn my office hours. If you want to meet face-to-face, I often have office hours in Zoom, and sometimes I have campus office hours. So click on here and learn my office hours. All right, so who am I? I'm Nunu. I'm your friendly teacher guide, and I want your learning to be both meaningful and enjoyable. So enjoy this essay writing assignment.